Welcome all my dear students to Sudharma's Physics Classroom. We are on Chapter 7, Energy Management from SSLC Physics, and this is the last chapter of the syllabus. As per the new information given by SCRT, as per the new syllabus, there are some focus area we have to concentrate for our exam in March. So actually this chapter is very lengthy, but this year 2021 they have reduced the syllabus. So we will be discussing today only the things which is required for our exam in March. Okay. So the main topics included in this chapter is what is energy, what is fuel, and what are the fossil fuels. Then what is energy crisis, and LNG, LPG, etc. Okay, so we'll be discussing all those things which is included in the focus point. So let's enter into the chapter. Most of you are familiar with the word energy crisis. When we read newspapers and the articles, we'll see this word regularly. What do you mean by the word energy crisis? I know that most of you are familiar with the law of conservation of energy. It's a very famous statement. It states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be converted from one form to another. If that is true, then how does energy crisis occur? And are the existing energy resources adequate to meet our energy needs? As we all of us know, the population is increasing, the demand for energy is increasing day by day, and we use lot of sources of energy for our day-to-day needs. And when we are using this sources of energy, when we use different types of fuels, have you ever thought are we able to replenish this energy back? Is those types of energy regaining back so that we can use it endless? That's a very important point we have to think. So, when we discuss about energy crisis, if we have to answer those questions, let's first learn from the basics that is about fuel. What are fuels? Fuels are substances that release plenty of heat energy on burning. This is how we define fuel. This is a very important question we can expect. What are fuels? Fuels are substances that release plenty of heat energy on burning. The usage of fuels depends on the situation. And let's start from our house. So many of the houses still we are using the firewood as the fuel. It's because of the availability. And most of the households will, especially in cities, will be using LPG cylinders, right? Not only in cities, in villages also nowadays it is very very common to use LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. So, when we say that these fuels produce heat energy on burning, we can categorize these fuels as solids, liquids, and gas. So, examples for a solid fuel is firewood, liquid we can take kerosene, and for gas it can be biogas or LPG. So, depending on your knowledge, you can categorize what all fuels you are using in your day to day life, you can categorize under solid, liquid, and gas. Now, when we say that these fuels produce heat when burning, we have to think about whether it is favorable for the environment. So, for that favorable things for the environment, the fuel has to be burnt completely. So we call it as complete combustion. Okay, complete combustion. What do you mean by complete combustion? Another one is incomplete combustion. So complete combustion means the burning of a fuel in the presence of plenty of oxygen. What is the difference between complete combustion and incomplete combustion? So during complete combustion, the fuel burns in the presence of plenty of oxygen. So carbon dioxide will be produced. Carbon dioxide and water vapor will be produced. But during incomplete combustion, what happens is will not be sufficient supply of oxygen. So carbon monoxide will be produced there. Carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, when you compare, carbon monoxide is dangerous. for especially for our health. Carbon monoxide is dangerous. The presence of carbon dioxide up to a certain amount in the atmosphere, that is okay for the living beings, but carbon monoxide is extremely dangerous. So in the case of incomplete combustion, that means in the absence of oxygen, or even in less presence of oxygen, what happens is carbon monoxide and some ashes will be produced. It causes a lot of environmental pollution. Okay, so we need to consider a fuel which produces less pollution. So we have to ensure it undergoes complete combustion. So what are the conditions favorable for the complete combustion of different fuels? Solid fuels must be dry. If the fuel is wet, it will not burn completely. So it will be continuously producing ashes, and it will not burn completely. It keeps on producing carbon monoxide. So if the fuel is completely dry, it can undergo complete combustion. Liquid fuels must evaporate easily, and the ignition temperature should be attained. What do you mean by ignition temperature? When we answer these questions, we need to use the scientific terms. So ignition temperature means the temperature at which the substance starts burning. That is called as ignition temperature. So for a complete combustion, the substance should attain ignition temperature. And the most important thing is sufficient oxygen must be available for burning. That is the most important thing for a complete combustion. Okay. So one question we can expect from here is, what is the difference between complete combustion and incomplete combustion? So in incomplete combustion or partial combustion, what happens is carbon monoxide will be produced. That is dangerous. Okay. Now, coming to the fossil fuels. What are the fossil fuels? Fossil fuels are formed by the transformation of plants and animals that went under the earth's crust millions of years ago. So, the important thing is the transformation took place in the absence of air under high pressure and high temperature. Okay, so the transformation of this, the remains of the organisms, living things, it can be plants or animals buried deep under the earth. What happens? It undergoes this transformation happens in the absence of air under high pressure and high temperature. So these fossil fuels include coal, petroleum, and natural gases. These are the examples for fossil fuels. And the difficulty with this fossil fuel is it cannot be replenished back, or it is not a renewable source of energy. Okay, because we know that these fossil fuels are used for large amount during this time, especially for in vehicles and in factories and all. We are depending most on these fossil fuels, but remember that it cannot be replenished back easily, because it is a non-renewable source of energy. It takes millions of years for the formation of fossil fuels. So when we use fossil fuels, we need to think about that. The most important fossil fuel is coal. Okay, so the main component of coal is carbon, and depending on the percentage of carbon contained in it, it is classified into four. So you have to memorize the names of these different types of coal, and remember it is based on the amount of carbon present in that coal, or the percentage of carbon present in the coal. So it is peat, lignite, anthracite, and bituminous coal. Okay, so remember, based on the carbon content in coal, coal is categorized into four: peat, lignite, anthracite, and bituminous coal. Now, when coal is distilled in the absence of air, very important, when coal is distilled in absence of air, the substance obtained are ammonia, coal gas, coal tar, and coke. Okay, so the products obtained in when coal is distilled in the absence of air are ammonia, coal gas, coal tar, and coke. The next thing we have to discuss is about CNG, LNG, and LPG. So LNG, CNG, and LPG, this the full form of this we need to know. So we make liquefied natural gas, that is LNG, and compressed natural gas from the natural gas obtained along with petroleum. So LNG is liquefied natural gas and CNG is compressed natural gas, and they are obtained along with petroleum. So the main component of all these is methane, and these are used as fuels in vehicles, industries and thermal power stations. So the questions can be explained what is LNG and CNG, and what is the main component of LNG and CNG, and how is that obtained, and where do we use this LNG and CNG. So they are used as fuels in vehicles, industries and thermal power stations. The importance of LNG is that natural gas can be liquefied and transported to distant places conveniently. Very important point. Why this LNG is preferred? Because it can be liquefied and transported to distant places conveniently. Because transporting a gaseous fuel is not that easy. So what we do is liquefy it and then transport it. Then after that, when we need that in gaseous form, we can convert it into again gaseous form. Okay, that is the advantage of this LNG. So liquefied natural gas. It can again be converted into gaseous form at atmospheric temperature and distributed through pipelines. That is the importance of this LNG. And the main component is methane. And comes to the most commonly used term, that is LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. This is what we use in our household as our fuel. And it's very convenient and it makes cooking easy. So what is LPG? It is liquefied petroleum gas, and it is a colorless, odorless gas obtained through fractional distillation of petroleum. Very important. What is the process used for manufacturing LPG? Fractional distillation of petroleum. So, when we say that it is a colorless, odorless gas, you'll be thinking that when there is a leakage of LPG, we used to smell it. But how is that possible if it is a colorless, odorless gas? So, domestic LPG produces an odor since ethyl mercaptan is added as an indicator to detect gas leakage. Okay, so what is the material added in LPG to detect the gas leakage in LPG? Ethyl mercaptan. So this content, this gives a lot of information and lot of questions we can get from this paragraph. Okay, so read it carefully, understand it carefully. Okay, so I'll give you all the questions from this. Many questions we can expect. Okay, so why ethyl mercaptan is used? It is used as an indicator to detect the gas leakage, and the main content of LPG is butane. We have seen that main content of LNG and CNG it is methane, and main content of LPG is butane. Okay, so once again, liquefied natural gas is LNG and compressed natural gas is CNG, and the main component of LNG and CNG is methane. And why LNG is preferred? Because it can be converted into liquid form and transported to distant places conveniently, and later when we require that in a gaseous form, we can reconvert that into gas and it can be distributed through the pipelines. Okay, and LPG is liquefied petroleum gas, and it is formed by the or it is obtained by the fractional distillation of petroleum, and the main component of LPG is butane, and the component which is added to detect the gas leakage is ethyl mercaptan. Very important. Now coming to the safety while we use LPG. For food materials, we always check what is the expiry date. Have you ever checked what is the expiry date of the LPG cylinder at home? If not, just check it. You can just check at the top of the cylinder and you can see some number like this. It will be like a combination like this. So, what does this A mean and what does that 24 means? A indicates the month from January to March and 24 indicates the year. Okay, so if it is A, up to March 2024, we can use the cylinder. That is safe up to March 2024. And if it is B, then it is from April to June, and C denotes July to September, and D denotes from October to December. So if it is D24, we can use up to December 2024. That's the meaning of it. So after the class, go and check what is the number given or the indication given in your cylinder right now, whatever you are using, and make sure it is safe to use. And when we use this LPG, we need to be conscious. Even a small leakage of LPG can cause a blast, because around 3% of LPG in the atmospheric air, or in 3 or 2%, it can cause fire. So we used to say that when we are connecting the cylinder, if you are replacing the cylinder, make sure you open the windows and the doors, and make sure you not switch on the uh, bulbs, or any electric spark can cause a blast. And if that if there is a fire breakout, what happens is the temperature increases and the pressure inside the cylinder will be increasing. So if it is in a gaseous state, the cylinder will not be able to accommodate that much gas in that cylinder. So what happens is the pressure inside the cylinder will increase and it will goes as an explosion. So that is called as BLAVE, boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion. Very important term, boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion. What is BLAVE? Okay. So when LPG becomes gas, the container cannot accommodate the entire gas. So that increases the pressure to a very high level and it causes a huge explosion, and that is known as boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion, or BLAVE. Okay, that's about LPG safety. So make sure you are handling the LPG cylinders very, very carefully. Okay. Now coming to the concept of green energy and brown energy. Green energy means it's the energy produced from natural sources. Okay, the energy produced from natural sources that does not cause environmental pollution. Very important. Differentiate between green energy and brown energy. Green energy is produced from natural resources and it will not cause any environmental pollution. So all the renewable sources of energy that comes under the category of green energy. So what are these renewable sources of energy? The energy which can be replenished after the usage very easily, that is called as renewable source of energy. So the best example is solar energy, wind energy, energy from the waves, and energy from biomass, energy from the tides, or in general we can say energy from ocean, wind energy. Everything comes under the renewable source of energy. And the most important thing about this is it will not cause any pollution to the environment. But energy produced from non-renewable sources such as petroleum and coal and nuclear energy are named as brown energy, because these sources which causes environmental problems including global warming. So the energy produced from non-renewable sources of energy which causes lot of pollution to the environment, they are called as brown energy. Okay, so brown energy comes from conventional fossil fuels such as oil or coal, and the combustion from these fuels releases harmful emissions to the environment. Renewable or green energy comes from clean sources that are more sustainable and are better for the environment. That's all about green energy and brown energy. And we started our lesson with a question: if there is an energy conservation, then why there is an energy crisis? And what are the ways we can reduce energy crisis? So since even though we say that the law of conservation of energy is valid everywhere, it is true. But for example, if you are using fossil fuel, say for example you are using petrol in your car and you are going to ride using that energy. So the energy from that petrol that is utilized for the mechanical energy for the movement of the car, right? So there is a usage of energy happened that is converted into another form of energy, and that is again, and some types of energy we cannot reuse it. Okay, so it is being converted, but for our use we cannot take it again. So that way we are not able to utilize those used energies. That is where the energy crisis comes. So we can think about the ways to reduce energy loss and how can be very energy efficient. So using LDR, like light dependent resistor for the street light, and making sure even you are not wasting water. See, there is a data given here that it gives you an idea how even a 1 ml water lost in 1 second causes a huge loss of water. So make sure you are not wasting water, and you are switching off the light when you leave the room. Switch off the fan. Do not put the TV on full time. Only switch it on only if it is required, so that you can save on electricity. Lot of measures you can take to save energy. Okay, so some of the tricks to save energy are minimizing the wastage of water, making use of public transportation as far as possible. Nowadays, it is very common that every single house will have separate car. So maybe one person will be traveling in that car. So it's a wastage of energy, and we are using fossil fuel. Always think about that. We are using fossil fuel, and it is a non-renewable source of energy. So you can introduce carpooling system from a community. If you are going to a particular place, many people go to a particular office. All of them can go together, so that the entry of many cars into the road can be reduced. That way we are going to reduce the amount of pollution. We are in a small contribution towards the environment can be done that way. Construction and beautifying of houses and roads in a scientific manner, controlling of the street lamps with LDR, and timely maintenance of machines, because when machines becomes old, they consume a lot of energy. Limiting the size of newly constructed buildings and ensuring of maximum efficiency of the machines used. These are some of the tricks where we can reduce the usage of energy, we can save energy and contribute to the environment. So if you have any other methods where you can save energy, please put it in the comment box. So here you have the freedom to answer in your own way. Make sure the valid points are written. Okay, so only up to this is given as per the SCRT for this 2021 syllabus. All the topics are covered now. And here comes the end of the syllabus of SSLC Physics. And in the coming classes, what I'm planning is discussing the previous year question papers. It's very important to discuss the previous year question papers, and it gives a lot of confidence to you when you enter the exam hall, because you will be familiar with most of the questions, or at least you will be familiar with the question pattern, and you come to know from which chapter what type of question comes. So it's very important, once we are done with the chapters, it's very important to do the previous year question papers. And very soon I'll be coming with previous year question papers. And if you are watching this channel for the first time, I have taken the complete syllabus of SSLC Physics, including the latest assess part, that is the text back exercises. So it's given in separate playlist in the channel. So please go and check, and make sure you learn the complete chapter thoroughly before coming to the next class. And if you are for the first time, then please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for more updates. So whenever I upload the new content, you will get a notification and you can watch the classes without missing it. Okay, so just have a clear revision of all the chapters and be ready for the previous year question answers. In the coming 1 month, let us make use of it maximum and score our best in the exam which is coming in March. Okay, so thank you for watching. See you soon with the previous year question papers. Bye.